In April of 1945, my grandfather, along with 60,000 other soldiers, stepped on the beach of the island of Okinawa. They planned to capture the island and turn it into a staging ground for the ultimate invasion of Japan. And they didn't know it at the time, but it was actually going to become the final battle of World War II. It was also going to be one of the costliest battles in American history. Military leadership hoped it would take a few weeks to capture the island, but it ended up taking 82 days before the Japanese army would surrender. And then many years later, the first war stories I would ever hear as a child were about this island, were about the Battle of Okinawa, as my grandfather told me about flame-throwing tanks and exploring caves and tunnels and getting blown up, getting blown out of a foxhole because a grenade got thrown in and landed next to his box of grenades and it killed a friend of his, and then he picked up his other friend and carried him on his shoulders back to get him some help. Years later, I would end up meeting the son of that man that my grandfather carried. I met this guy that wouldn't live. You know, he wouldn't even exist if my grandfather hadn't carried his dad back to get him help to save his life. So many stories, so many things as a kid that I was hearing about from my grandfather. And the crazy thing is, he didn't tell the stories dramatically. It wasn't entertainment. It wasn't to show how much of a hero or somebody that he was. He would tell the stories just matter of fact. Here's some things that happened. In the same way I might tell you the things I need to buy at the grocery store. That's how he told these stories, and it just kind of blew my mind as a kid to hear all these different things that had happened. And so many years after that, now I'm a game designer and I've created a system for a game that I think is pretty interesting. It's got this action selection kind of deal. It's got a rondelle. It's got all these things. And I realized that a war theme or some kind of fighting or combat theme would go really well with the system that I had come up with. And my mind immediately went to the Battle of Okinawa. And hopefully as a way to honor my grandfather, to remember him, and just kind of think about the amazing badass that he was, this game came to life. Okinawa, the last battle of World War II. And in this game, you'll take your pawn, you'll move around this rondelle made of action cards, doing different things. Attacking, exploring, removing fog of war, healing, ducking for cover, all the different things that would happen in this type of a battle, all the while taking on snipers and machine gunners and tanks and planes and exploring tunnels and reenacting, living out this battle that my grandfather lived for real. And yeah, it's a game, and it's a lot of fun. I'm a little biased, but it is a really enjoyable experience. And yeah, it comes with this really awesome free dice tower, but it's more than that. It's not trying to make light of war or sacrifice or anything like that. It's more about remembering and honoring the stories, remembering the things that happened in real life, and then trying to connect with that, trying to have some kind of part in that on a table, chucking some dice and moving some things around. But bigger picture, remembering and honoring the sacrifice that so many people made. So thank you so much for checking out this campaign. If this game looks like something you'd enjoy, I hope you'll pick up a copy. And I can't wait to share more with you over the course of this campaign, especially the stories, some stories that have affected me personally through experiences with my grandfather and just in general with the Battle of Okinawa. There's some really amazing things that happened during this conflict. Looking forward to sharing those with you.
Okinawa waves were high. Grandpa stared them in the eye. In the chaos he would stand, a hero with a mighty hand. Fearless, hard and steady, yeah. In the storm he etched his name. He's a